In Nigeria today, it is pretty difficult to find a sub 100,000 naira phone that can deliver on good performance, good camera, good battery, as well as have a really good design. Poco C71, living up to its name, is bringing some of these features plus more in an affordable budget or entry-level smartphone. In this video, we'll be going through the Poco C71 and its features, and will help you decide if this is a good phone among other alternatives in the market. This is Shaman, and this is my review of the Poco C71. The Poco C71 at first glance is an aesthetically pleasing phone. It looks good in the right places. It doesn't instantly catch you till you look at it for a few more seconds and then it dawns on you. I unboxed the phone a couple of days ago, and just a reminder that this phone comes with a 15-watt charging brick, a USB-A to Type-C, and the phone itself, along with a case. Now, on the right side of the phone, you have a volume rocker and side button. I wouldn't call it a power button because it doesn't give the option to power off, but rather opens up Google Assistant. Before I forget, it doubles as a fingerprint sensor. On the left is the SIM tray, which houses 2 nano SIMs and the option to expand your storage with a micro SD card. At the top, you have a firing speaker, which is quite odd for its location. It's usually at the bottom. At the bottom is a 3.5mm jack, a USB Type-C port, and a microphone for receiving calls. Behind, we have a flush back made of plastic with the Poco brand name at the bottom and dual camera modules at the top. It's sturdy, and at 193 grams feels like you're holding something of value. The weight distribution helps to make it not feel burdening carrying the phone, and it's just 8.26mm thin. But I'll leave that to you to decide if that is too thick or thin enough. One thing I really like about the design language is the patterned stripes at the back. It gives the phone some kind of fresh identity compared to competition at this price. The Poco C71 comes with a large 6.8-inch LCD display that starts with 60 Hz, but you can increase the refresh rate to 120 Hz for a more fluid experience. Poco claims it has a 90% screen-to-body ratio, and while this seems true, I can't help but notice the bezels all around the phone, especially the one at the bottom. It kind of looks like a large jaw. At 450 nits of max brightness, don't expect to not squint if you're going to be using this phone mostly outdoors. Yes, it's a bit of a struggle using the phone outdoors, but that should be expected in any entry-level smartphone. To aid users, Poco added a new feature called Outdoor Mode to help with outdoor viewing. Allegedly, it pushes the peak brightness to 600 nits. The display is immersive and large enough for you to enjoy social media and movie streaming. It may not pack an AMOLED display. That would have been a miracle at this price point, but its LCD display isn't bad. Colors are slightly muted and generally pleasing to the eye. Inside the plastic frame is a Unisoc T7250 octa-core processor. You can either get this phone with 3 or 4 gigs of RAM and 64 or 128 gigs of storage respectively, with the option to extend your RAM by 3 or 4 gig depending on the variant you have decided to buy. With all these technical jargons, I'm sure you're wondering how it translates to real life. It wasn't made to do any heavy tasks like video editing and heavy gaming, so please don't install Call of Duty on it. It would handle games like Candy Crush just fine. Social media apps work just fine on this, and I didn't really feel so many delays in terms of opening an app and actually using it. It was made to perform very basic functions, so keep your expectations low on this one. The Poco C71 comes with a 32 megapixel main camera sensor with HDR mode, night mode, as well as some other extras. It records video in full HD, that is 1080p at 30 frames per second or 720p at 30 frames per second. On the front, you have an 8 megapixel camera. For video recording, it records video in full HD and 720p at 30 frames per second. I took a couple of pictures with this phone, and I always keep my expectations low for entry-level devices, and this is no different. However, in broad daylight, the pictures taken look really nice. They are not oversaturated, colors are pleasing to the eye, details, they are not great, but they are not bad either. I would leave it to you to actually decide if this camera delivers or not. However, in low light, that's where this phone starts to struggle. Image quality is not great in low light, so like I said, limit your expectations. The phone has night mode, which is supposed to be used to take pictures at night, and while it kind of helps, the phone still struggles with nighttime pictures. Pictures are grainy, they lack detail, color seems to be a bit off. I will show you some pictures from night mode. I'm sure you're seeing them on my screen now. You can help me decide whether you feel these pictures are good. The video mode is not bad. It doesn't have image stabilization, so if you're going to be stationed well, the videos will look nice. Or if the phone is mounted on a gimbal or a stabilizer, then your videos would be smooth. However, if you're handheld or you're trying to take action videos, just limit your expectations. If you had high hopes for a phone with a very good battery that delivers, this phone will not disappoint you. I've had this phone for about 2 weeks and I can clearly claim that this phone can easily last you through the day. Its 5200 milliamp battery ensures this happens and is also supported by 15-watt charging capacity and a charging brick. It typically takes roughly 2 hours to charge from 0 to 100 in ideal conditions, but could take more time due to certain factors like heat and battery charging slowing down as the phone approaches full capacity. The call quality on this phone is not bad. You can hear clearly from the other side and the other side can hear you. Whether you're receiving a call or making a call, it actually makes sense on both ends. For sound quality, it doesn't have any custom sound signature. However, the sound is generally regular. I'll play a music file for you to judge and hear what the speakers sound like. This phone has a few other features I haven't mentioned, like for instance, it has a fingerprint on the side button on the right side of the phone. Setting it up takes about a minute and I was a bit irked by how many times I had to register my fingerprint before it filled up. The fingerprint does work, but sometimes struggles to get my fingerprint recognized at a go. It also has face unlock as a feature, but I would not recommend you using this because the face unlock on this phone can surprisingly give access to someone who looks similar to you. That could mean unauthorized access to your privacy and unauthorized purchases. The phone has standard connectivity but lacks NFC, so Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, hotspots. Yes. It also supports 4G SIM cards and can also see 4.5G network if it's available in your location. This also helps in improving battery life as it is not as power hungry as the 5G networks are. The phone runs Android 15 out of the box and is supposed to support 2 years of software updates. Now, to be honest, there's a lot of competition that is priced around that same price range, but if you ask me, the Poco C71 is an ideal phone. It balances features and price with battery life, good picture quality, and it performs reasonably well. Now, if you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a like and a comment letting me know what you've enjoyed most about the video or some of the features you'll be looking forward to when you eventually get this phone. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video, as doing so helps the video to reach more people. My name is Shaman and I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video.